We had a really unusual situation unfold, and unfortunately, but this is becoming way too much of a trend. We had the Arizona Cardinals playing against the Tennessee Titans, and we had Arizona, Tennessee, by the way, one of the worst teams in the league, but Cam Ward is a baller. That guy's going to be a stud, the number 1 overall pick from last year. And you had a situation unfolding where Amari Demarcado, a running back for the Cardinals, is going in to score a touchdown. And this to me is such a head scratcher. It's such an inexplicable. How does this keep happening? The 7th time this has happened in the NFL. Deshaun Jackson, probably one of the most famous. I think he might have been the first.
He did it in a high school all-star game.
Yes.
He dove, which was crazy because he dove from the 5. So I was like, this dude's an absurd athlete.
Right.
He dove from the 5 and then fumbled on the 1.
So after Demarcado fumbles that ball, and by the way, all of this led to an unbelievable win for the Titans and a horrific loss for the Arizona Cardinals. Here's a look at the breakaway run. He's going down the field, and you see him, and he just drops it. Right, just ever so slightly there. The defender notices it right away, starts pointing at it, says, let's review this thing. And I mean, it is inches. It is right there. What is so hard about finishing and dropping the ball, I don't know, a yard or two inside the end zone? How can this keep happening is my biggest question. And then unfortunately, you saw a really unfortunate incident because it continued where Demarcado's on the sideline. And I guarantee he feels foolish. He's embarrassed. I would hope so. But Jonathan Ganon, the head coach, comes over and lets him have it and puts hands on him. And that is something you cannot do, where it came out today. And I think this is a first in NFL history. I can't remember this ever happening, where a head coach gets fined for making contact with his own player.
And didn't get fined by the league either.
Right.
Got fined by the team.
$100,000. It's such an unusual precedent. I do wonder how the season unfolds for Arizona. If Jonathan Ganon survives this, this could be a massive issue for him. But as a head coach, the best coaches I always played for, when you were playing well, that was when you were the hardest on them. And when you were playing poorly or you made some sort of boneheaded mistake, that's when they put their arm around you. That's when they kind of took you under their wing and said, you know what? This is embarrassing. I know it was a mistake. We'll get past this. As opposed to what you saw from Ganon that did there. Let's hear from Jonathan Ganon, see what he said after the game when he was talking to the media about that incident that unfolded. Get it up here in a second as we've got Jonathan Ganon. We just had it up. All right, cool. We'll get it up there in a second. I'll
tell you what, in the meantime, this is what I think, man. I think it's a big generational thing. I think you talk to an 18 to 25-year-old player, maybe a little older, 28-year-old player, they have a huge problem with this. You talk to a guy, I mean, even I'm starting to get a little long in the tooth, man. You talk to me, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I hate to say it like that, but I've had coaches grab my shoulder pads before, grab a face mask of a guy on my team. If it's a guy who I know loves me and he's not punching nobody, unless I didn't see it correctly, which I guess maybe I didn't, but it didn't seem like a huge deal to me. I've seen coaches grip up players before, and it ends up being that and nothing else. I mean, we can run to them, but maybe I'm wrong. But that, to me, it didn't seem like a massive deal.
Let's hear it. Didn't feel great about it, honestly. So in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Amari, apologized to the team. And I just told him I kind of let the moment of what happened get the better of me there. Obviously, like I tried to be emotionally stable and calm because my job is to solve problems during a game and kind of lead the charge on that. So it's not really who I am, who I want to be. And I told the guys that today. So it's a mistake by me, and it's just like everybody in there. Everybody made some type of mistake yesterday, which is, culminates to why we didn't win the game, and we can't let it happen moving forward.
So did I hear you correctly, though? That you thought it wasn't that big of a deal?
I didn't
think it's a generational thing?
I really do. I mean, have you not had, every level from high school to college to, I guess when I was in the league, nobody put hands on the players, but anything else any other level I've played at, there's been something like, what's different between that and a guy going chest to chest? Did I not see the clip right? Can we run the clip one more time, Malik? Did he actually haul off and smack him one?
I think he got him pretty good. It's hard to see.
But hitting a guy in the chest with the shoulder pads on, is that a huge deal?
I think this is, to your point, I do think some of this is generational, about a generation that is way softer and way more sensitive when they do get criticized. I'm going to send these guys a tweet.
Is there a better, that little pop at the end there? That doesn't bother me.
I know.
That doesn't, you know what though? Let me ask you this question. So, and granted, it's not the same thing, But we fried last week Mike McDaniels for being so easy and want to be homies with the players.
Right.
And we think he's going to lose his job, right? So where is that medium where you can't be hard on him? You think Demarcado was hurt or felt this in any way, like physically?
No.
So
Des Bryant, I just sent the fellas there this tweet. He said there was after they reported that Gannon had been fired. He said,
Fined.
Fine.
Sorry about that.
Said, I don't agree with the Cardinals fining Coach Gannon $100,000. I believe it only happened because of this soft-ass world we live in. If you're an athlete with any kind of integrity and respect for the game, you'll understand that situation. This is football. That play clearly cost them the game. I hope this doesn't cause a weird vibe between the Coach Gannon and Demarcado.
Let me ask you this, and I'm right there with him. Let me ask you when the Ravens were winning games. If an intense dude like Ray Lewis would have came up to a guy on his defense and just popped the guy in the shoulder pads like that, would any of us say anything?
No.
And would it have?
I do think it's different player to player than it is coach to player, because here's the issue you run into. What if Demarcado does that to Gannon?
Oh, well, obviously. I mean,
see, that's the issue. That's where, and I think that's the best pushback, because I'm old school by nature.
Yes, you are.
I was chewed out. I was yelled at. I think I think players are softer now. They're too sensitive. They need to get some thicker skin. But that is the one caveat that I would say you don't want a situation where if it was reversed, if a player went up to Gannon, let's say he was yelling at him, let's say he smacked him in the face, did something like that, that player's probably getting cut. And that's where I think the Cardinals had to find him to do something to say, you know what? We can't have this happening on our sideline, because to me, it does appear undisciplined, too emotional. Gannon saying, hey, I have to be stable in that position. And he seemed out of control by letting him put hands on him. If he would have just reamed him out and just cursed him out in front of everybody, I don't think anybody would have a problem with it. But I do think today's player, I think you have to adapt to make sure that you don't lose the locker room there in Arizona.
Yeah, I guess it's a
because I get your point and I get Des Bryant's point. I just feel like we've gotten a place where you kind of have to worry not about one player, but about the entire locker room.
Right. So, but I guess that's more like a locker room thing than I think it's a one-person thing. And I think you're right. If he goes off and slaps Jonathan Gannon in the head, blah, blah. But I think it's also different if Jonathan Gannon goes off and smacks him in the head. You know,
right.
I think kind of the action itself was. I don't have a problem. I've had coaches grab my face mask and yell to me, like, don't make him. And I don't know, man. I don't think that act right there, middle of the chest, easy little pop like that, isn't the end of the world to me. Like you said, comes back and hauls off on him and hits him in the head or the face. Different story. I don't know, man. I wish I felt.
I just am stunned that it's 2025 and we've seen this happen 7 times now in the last 15 years. Like, is it to the point where NFL coaches have to put these plays up in training camp and say, hey guys, make sure you don't drop the ball before it crosses the goal line? At what point is it just embarrassing where you're like, I can't be that guy?
And this one pisses coaches off because I watched this. This happened with a kid named Malachi Corley for the Jets last year. It was going to be his first touchdown in the NFL. He gets an end around and he drops it on like the half-yard line. He's gone now. And he was somebody they had a really bright future for. It's mistakes like this that really do drive coaches crazy. Like I think coaches are okay with dropping a football. We've talked about it before. They're cool with you dropping a football. It's the focus thing and the effort thing and the being locked in when you need to be locked in. Like that there is such a me type of thing. Like you couldn't wait one extra step to get your glory. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that tells me when he's on the 10, that's what he's thinking about.
Right.
Oh, what's about to happen to me.
Finish.
Yeah, come on, man.
Finish the play.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Sucks.
We'll see which direction the Cardinals go from here. They dropped to 2-3. You wonder what this means for Gannon, what it means for his future, and we'll keep an eye on that story.